What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today once again we're going to be going over my best loot drops, looking at some of the things that have dropped for me recently, mainly weapons, seeing what's good or not, and also the rolls on them. So I opened up some strike Hoard chests with my skeleton keys because I'm always going after a nice Imago loop, of course, and on top of that we'll also be looking at some of my Nightfall loot, some Vanguard and Crucible packages, faction packages, and also some few other sources as well. So let's begin with the skeleton keys. I used two of them, the first one being in the Undying Mind Strike. What I wanted from this chest was obviously an Imago loop as always, but I also really needed an artifact as well, because I was getting closer to 400. My artifact was one of the few things holding me back. I think it was 397 at the time. So luckily I got both the Imago loop and also an artifact, which is exactly what I wanted, but they weren't perfect because the artifact was only 399, so it was still one away, but the Imago loop was also 399, which doesn't really matter because I've already got 400 primary, but the perks on this actual weapon aren't that great, unfortunately. So we've got partial refund firstly, hand loaded, which is decent for the range, and also grenadier, so it's just a bad roll in general, nothing really good for PvE or Crucible. As you might have seen in my last loot video, I actually got a really good PvP roll on an Imago loop, so now basically just want a PvE roll, like Fatebringer, mainly Outlaw, or Spray and Play, something to make it reload faster, or anything as close to the Fatebringer as possible. So my next skeleton key I use in the Abomination Strike, because I pretty much had to get the Thorn, which I finally got out of the Thorn quest. Now, the weapon I got from this went to the Postmaster and has actually turned out to be a Devil's Dawn. The perks on these are fixed if you didn't know, so we've got Life Support, Quick Draw, and Fireflight, pretty decent. The element is the only thing that does change, and mine has Void damage, so that is the only difference when you get these Devil's Dawn snipers. So the next thing I did is go into Archon's Forge to try and get an artifact. I spent probably 2 hours in there and I got another 399 artifact. And then eventually it gave me a 400 one. So if you're in need of an artifact or a ghost or a class item, Archon's Forge does always drop them up to 400. They are quite rare, but when they do drop, they tend to be above your light level. So really good source if you're still trying to get to 400 yourself. So moving on, we're going to look at a Nightfall, which is actually really fun this week. It's actually the Fogoth Strike, but it's really quick to do with the Arc Burn damage modifier. So from this one, of course, I was hoping for something to raise my light, but I turned out to get 11 at 3 of coins, which really sucks. I was hoping for something that could at least improve me, but I guess this isn't too bad because I can get some exotics out of them. There you go, 11 3 of coins. Moving on to my Vanguard package, I picked up the Shadow Price Year 1 Auto Rifle, and also the unbelievably old cloak, which is funny, I remember this one from Year 1. It's really ugly. So the roll on the Shadow Price turned out to be Focus Fire, Speed Reload, a Feather Mag, a Small Bore, and also Perfect Balance, which I'm still not sure about Focus Fire. I'm pretty sure it lowers the overall DPS when it raises the damage and decreases the fire rate. I'm pretty sure overall it becomes a weaker weapon, so still not too sure, but that's what I got from my Vanguard package. So next up, let's look at the Crucible packages, and these drop me some amazing stuff, starting off with the first one, dropping me the Hero Formula, being a Scout Rifle, and this thing is basically a god roll, absolutely incredible set of perks. We've got Outlaw, Hand-Laid Stock, and Firefly. So basically we've got nearly max ability with Hand-Laid Stock, and then of course Outlaw and Firefly are an amazing combination. Basically Fatebringer in a Scout Rifle, and it fires like the Dis 47. It's the fastest rate of fire Scout Rifle you can get. So this thing is going to be an amazing PvE weapon, and also pretty good in PvP. I might try it out, and it's definitely one of the best things I've gotten from a package in a while. So the next Crucible package dropped me an Event Horizon, which is the sniper, the very high impact one. This one came with the long view 10 scope, spray and play, snapshot, and also hidden hand. So this is better than that vendor roll, which has hidden hand and spray and play. This one comes the addition of snapshot instead of explosive rounds. So this is a really good roll and basically better than the vendor one. So again, this is pretty much a god roll sniper, and I'm definitely keeping this thing around. So again, really happy with this weapon. And the final package dropped me a Grim Citizen Auto Rifle. This one is not a great roll. It's got Hot Swap, Hand Loaded, Appended Magazine, Small Bore, and also surrounded. So nothing special there. I've definitely got a better Grim Citizen in my vault, so it's probably getting dismantled. So the next one is a random Crypt Arcane Gun, which dropped me a 1,000 yard stare, which every time I'm hoping is some kind of like god roll sniper. But this one is all long range scopes. It's so awful, and its main perks are Last Resort, Perfect Balance, Injection Mold, Hannibal, and Mulligan. So a really bad roll, nothing great about this in general. And then normally when I'm full on legendary marks, I'll go find one of the Crypt Arcs that's selling these special weapon engrams to try and get another 1,000 yard. What I actually got was a Jabberhacky Sidearm with Reactive Reload, Cascade, and High Caliber, which is, I guess, a decent sidearm. I think it's a pretty strong roll as sidearms go, but I don't typically use them, so probably not have much use for me. I think I'll keep it around because it is a really strong roll, and I might use it at some point, but for the most part when I have full marks I always buy an engram because it is still one of the best ways to get a really good Crucible sniper, and I'm always trying to get a 1,000 yard stare basically. So next up, let's look at some faction packages, starting with Future War Cult. This one dropped me the Wormwood Sidearm and also a Shader. So the Sidearm came with high caliber rounds, fitted stock, and also reactive reload, which is a really strong set of perks, and I've actually heard quite a lot of good things about the Future War Cult Sidearm, so I'll probably keep this thing around as well. That shader that I got was called Carthage, and as you'd expect with pretty much any Future War Cult shader, it's really ugly. It looks like Ronald McDonald. I think it's just a really off-color scheme. No idea who would wear these, but there you go. That is a Future War Cult shader, and I think I now have all the faction shaders, which is pretty cool. Next up, if we look at Dead Orbit, I picked up the Keystone Scout Rifle. This one came with armor-piercing rounds, Snapshot, Hammer Forge, Third Eye, and also Zen Moment. So never really bothered about these. It's the same kind of high impact and low rate of fire archetype as a Jade Rabbit or the Raid Scout, and they're never going to compete with those. So I never really pay too much attention because the Raid Scout is an absolute monster. And the final package is a Bitter Edge Sniper. This one came with ambush, armor-piercing rounds, a quick draw, perfect balance, triple tap, and also unflinching. Some really good perks in there, but again, it's not really a great archetype, and it's basically a glorified scout rifle, so not really a great sniper in my opinion. So there we go, that is a roundup of everything I've picked up recently, all the loot and the rolls on some of the weapons. Really happy about that scout rifle from the Crucible. Leave a comment down below any cool things that you've gotten recently, any god roll weapons or really nice loot drops. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next one.